Alright guys, welcome back. C.F.P here, and this is Survival Living. So today, get your preps. Get your preps stacked as high as you can. As you can see behind us here, we are utilizing every little bit of space we have for prep storage. Now, I've showed the back of our living situation where we have everything stocked there. We have also showed where we have stocked preps and put them in the ground. You guys will definitely find in the comments section. We pinned those videos up for you and in the description. I encourage you to check that stuff out, guys, especially if you are limited on space. Learn these skills. You need to get your food put up. Now, with everything going on in the country as far as our election process, don't allow yourself to be swayed and preoccupied with this. All right, there's a lot of stuff still coming our way, and it's easy to take a step back and just get wrapped up with these whole election stuff. Oh, well, this is going this way, this is going that way. They're saying he's president-elect. Ignore that. That's fodder out there just to keep you from what you need to be doing. All right, guys, we have talked many times about a second shutdown in this country. They're already starting their second shutdowns and have been doing their second shutdowns in other countries. It's coming this way. What happened during our first shutdown? I like to call it shutdown light. It was a practice run. We saw the huge amount of people running and grabbing toilet paper, of all things, toilet paper. Hey, do you have toilet paper stocked up? Did y'all learn your lesson from last time? We have toilet paper. I've showed where we vacuum seal our toilet paper to allow more space for us as far as storage. Do you remember what was missing on those shelves? I'm sorry if I keep leaning this way while I'm trying to speak to you. I do have the camera in an unusual position than our usual go around. All right, so stocking up, guys. All right, like I said, we utilize as much space as possible. We don't keep everything here. We don't keep everything in our spot, but we do have a surplus of preps that we are trying to find homes for in our location. And in other words, I will be taking a lot of stuff and putting in the ground again. It's just what it is. We have to have a certain amount of food in case of a lockdown or a SHTF scenario. And since we're still here in this part of Florida and we are not homesteading yet, we got to put it somewhere. All right, so currently, this up here is usually where we keep our clothes. All right, we keep our clothes to a minimum. All right, so many pairs of jeans a week, whatever. We don't have a big old walk-in closet. We've got a storage facility. We have a huge capacity storage there in the Tahoe. We have room to put stuff. So our clothes have moved to the Tahoe. Well, what happens if something happens to the Tahoe? Well, I guess we'll just be wearing the same clothes as much as possible. It's not going to kill us to wash our clothes every day. We're not doing that. We change our clothes, we wash our clothes. We do our clothes weekly. That's just what we do here. It works for us. We do our laundromat run and get everything done. But get some food put back, guys. Now, I'm getting many comments, emails. Well, where do I start? Well, one of the things that I have a hard time understanding is the comments, well, I have rice, but what am I going to use it for? Well, you're going to eat rice. Do yourself a favor and go to Google. Type in recipes using rice as an ingredient. I will guarantee you will find hundreds of meals. Simple to make, and they're not cuisine meals or anything like that, although there are some of those. There's plenty of food that is made with rice. If you go to your store now and buy those prepackaged meals and everything else, you'll see rice is in there. All right, there are so many different things. Open your minds. Don't be closed-minded on stuff. Well, I got 20-pound bag of rice. That's a good start. It really is. You need more. Now, if you don't eat rice, don't store rice. Go store what you eat. All right. I do see comments. Well, I don't like that particular food you have that you're showing C.F.P. because it's processed. It has this in it. It has this in it. It has that in it. Yeah, it does have that stuff in it. I don't care. When it comes to me surviving because there is no food around, trust me, you're going to eat it too if you have it available. Oh, no, I won't. Have you been in a hungered situation? I'm not talking about you missed a meal. I'm not talking about a 3-day fast. I'm talking about you haven't eaten in days. You've been humping with a backpack on. I have. I've gone nearly a week without any food because none of my snares was attracting anything in the wild. Yeah, I lived as a train rider for a year and a half. I was in the bush for a year and a half. I stayed out of the cities. I lived off the land most of the time. It's not as easy as people project it to be. Most of these people that are projecting these things to be haven't done it. They're sitting there spilling out stuff because they've watched YouTube videos on this is how you set a snare. Yes, it is great information to set a snare. Now, we have done snare videos here on the channel. You can easily find it in our playlists. They work. These are snares that I have used to survive with. But just watching a video on how to make a snare and not applying the information you have just learned, you have just watched, and actually getting your hands on it and attempting it is not going to do you any good. It's not as easy as it is made to look. It's easy for me because I spent most of my life making snares and traps. I'm a hunter. I was raised in the country. I was raised in the mountains of North Carolina. I grew up, that was my upbringing. It wasn't a traditional vacation spot for me. Once every couple years I got to go camping for a day or two. No, I was put in the bush. Here you go. All right, we didn't have the nice tents. We had to build shelters. We had to make emergency shelters. YouTube wasn't even around back then. This is information that was passed down that we've already used in future generations. Well, not future, past generations, excuse me. That's passed down for future generations. A lot of that art's gone. No, I'm not getting onto the whole bushcrafting stuff. Do I think you should take a look at bushcrafting? Yeah, absolutely. I think it is a very key part of being a prepper is learning bushcrafting skills. I had it was one of our live streams. I believe it was our last live streams. We had a Wandering American on. I believe she was our last come in on our show, and she made a very great point. She was talking about butane lighters, checking your butane lighters. Yeah, mine has duct tape on it. I know I'm weird. I like keeping duct tape on hand. She was talking about butane lighters, checking your butane lighters. They will, many of them will discharge without you even knowing. They evaporate out, they get hot, whatever, they don't work. All right. Not saying every single lighter is, but why take the chance? I know people that has went and bought 100 Bic lighters. Contact me, dude. I bought 100 Bic lighters. I'm good. I don't need your fire starting kit. Good catch. No, you don't need my fire starting kit. I know that was just a jab directly at me. I also had the comments, well, if you're a real prepper or survivalist, you don't need an emergency fire starting kit. You can make a fire. Absolutely. And when I created it, I even told everybody it was something that you could put in a backpack, use as a gift, especially if you're trying to get people into prepping. It's a nice item. I didn't say you had to have it to have survival. But back to the lighter, she made a great point. These don't last forever. All right, well, I got 100 Bic lighter C.F.P. I'm good. Unless something happens, do you have them all stored in the same location? Are they climate controlled? Power goes out. Do you have any idea how hot it gets down here in Florida inside a home when there's no power? People get out of their houses. They're outside. They're up underneath shade during the daytime. Every time we had a bad hurricane come through and power gets knocked out, they're not sitting inside, guys. They are outside. Nighttime temperatures, extremely hot. When I lived in Mesa, Arizona, it was like 92 degrees at night. Luckily, we had air-conditioned swamp coolers, things like that to bring down the temperature. But imagine when there is nothing like that. There is no power to do that. Without power, these canned goods, they're not going to last. The temperature change, the excessive heat, things like that, it will compromise the integrity of that food on the inside. So we have solar. We have generator. We have a wind turbine for backup. I mean, yeah. You've got to think of these things. I want to get into those water turbines. I've seen plenty of them. I believe I seen a video a year ago on Canadian Prepper. It was a small one that gets dropped into a river and it turns and produces power to charge a battery. Being able to charge up battery banks will be a key element in producing power. You got to have a way to store it. So please, guys, make sure you're getting food. Get that stuff prepped up. We have talked many times on this channel, and I do apologize for the noise in the background. I've got my wife has 2 rabbits, and they are eating. They like to forage. They're house rabbits. I don't know. They dig around stuff. Anyway, back on topic. Get food. Get water purification. I do recommend, if you can legally own a bang bang stick, and you know what I'm talking about, get that. Get your ammunition stockpiled. Learn how to use that correctly. Be well versed in breaking it down and cleaning and maintaining. Go to the range. If you don't have access to a range and you're in a rural area, odds are you already have a bang bang stick, but take it out in the backyard. Learn how to shoot it accurately. Learn that thing. When you have your basics covered, start investing in an alternative power source. It is going to be a lot easier on you in SHTF if you can generate power to run a small refrigerator, a set of lights, even if they're used for security purposes alone. In other words, you have a switch wired in where you can turn it on if you think you hear or see something moving around your yard. You have the ability to light up your yard and give you an advantage over someone creeping in on you. And yes, there will be people creeping in SHTF. There will. There's no sense in sitting there going, oh, well, you just don't understand. You just don't trust people. Damn right I don't trust people. I've seen the mean in society. I've seen a lot of good in society. I don't trust a lot. And there's good reason for it. All right? Coffee. I don't trust anybody with my coffee. That's well protected. That's another example. Coffee, guys. Do you drink coffee? Well, man, C.F.P, you can live without coffee. Sure you can. I enjoy coffee. It's one of my top things in life. I like coffee. We prep coffee. I don't like being grouchy, irritable, and mainly because if I don't have coffee, yes, I'll have the caffeine withdrawal. It's part of my routine, all that stuff. I enjoy that routine. It's something soothing for me. It's a morale booster. So yes, we stock a lot of coffee. We've talked about morale boosters and stuff, guys, candies, things like that. These things I do recommend storing, but start with your foods first, guys. Now, I've talked about in the past, we are a part of Legacy Foods. That is a long-term food storage. Put a little icon up there for you. Links are in the description, guys. And yes, I do recommend getting those. But after you've already gotten at least a year's supply of normal canned goods, dry goods, rice, beans. Ours is all vacuum sealed down there. That's just a small portion. Once you have a year's supply, then you move forward to long-term food storage. I personally would rather you do 2 years of canned goods, dry goods, before you get into long-term food storage. Why 2 years of canned goods, dry goods? Well, these are normal rotation stocks, guys. We use these ingredients, these foods, in our everyday meals here at the house. That's what we do. Don't mean you have to buy exactly what we got. Some of these things are on the cheap end. Well, when you don't have much money, you have to go on the cheap end of things. I have limited taste buds. I got electrocuted many years ago. My taste buds don't work very well. So to me, most foods are bland. There's no flavor to me on most foods. My wife, on the other hand, she likes nicer tasting foods. Do we buy nice meals and stuff like that? Yes, of course we do. Does my wife prepare nice meals? Yes, absolutely. We actually prepare most of our meals. We rarely go out to eat. We don't even really go out to eat for our anniversaries and stuff like that. This past anniversary, we were here. We cooked out on the grill. We were together. We saved a lot of money that went towards our preps. Well, dang, C.F.P, that's kind of cheap, man. My wife was on board. She actually made the offer first. I wanted to be a good husband. I wanted to take her out to eat, but I don't know where to take her out to eat out here with everything else being spewed in our face by media and everything else. We got restaurants testing positives left and right out here in Panama City. So back on topic, guys, about prepping. There's a lot of things that you still have to be prepping for. Don't get wrapped up with the news media with this whole election stuff. There is nobody, Congress has not selected anybody as president yet. That's the mainstream pushing their agenda. Who runs the mainstream? We already know this information. This is just to cause discord in everybody, make people depressed, get their minds onto something else. We still have a lot of threats here on America. We still have the potential for SHTF. Which one is going to happen first? I don't know. I try my best to prepare for as much as possible. I get the comment a lot, you shouldn't be afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm prepared. There's a huge difference. I'm not fearful of anything. I take that back. I am fearful of sharks. So my butt stays out of the ocean. Yeah, I don't. No. Forget that. But we know a pole shift, guys. That is an actual thing. We know that there is a change in our climate. We see that with these storms. Has it happened before? Yes, it has. Is it the whole political spill? No, it has nothing to do with that. This is a natural occurring. We just happen to be human life during this time and be able to see it with our own eyes. But the history is there that this has happened before. And it wasn't because you bought a Lincoln instead of a electric car. You know, I sat there and watched a commercial the other day. It was I think it was a Plymouth. I don't know, some type of vehicle, SUV. They're running around. Well, I'm doing my part to help the environment because they're plugging in a vehicle. You know what it takes to create that power that you're plugging in and using? There's a no-win situation. But that's not the cause of global warming. That's not the cause. Global warming is an event that has happened many times before in Earth's history. We're just humans that are able to. Now, has humans sped up the process any? Well, probably. You know, I know a lot of polluters. Is it all United States' fault? Absolutely not. We seem to be the only ones abiding by the rules that they've put out there for everybody. While everyone else just dumps pollution in the air and in the ocean. Don't get wrapped up with the semantics of everything. We got stuff going on, guys. If you watch the mainstream media, you'll see things spin and spin and spin. Next thing you know, your head's spinning. You don't know where to look. Look at your basics. Look at your basic threats to SHTF that will create this and start prepping accordingly to it. There's a lot still going on in this country. We don't know what's going to happen with the election process. I do know that it is going to be checked, which it really should. I believe the election process should be checked every year. I think they should go back and recount a lot of stuff. All right. But that's not what this video is about. It's not about the election. It's about getting prepared, guys. If you have the ability, prep as much food as you possibly can. If you are hurting financial, there are many channels out there that go over other ideas on getting food stockpiled up. There are ways to do this by catching your own food, smoking your own food, dehydrating your own food. There are canning your own food. There are ways to stock up. All right? Start stocking up some food before it's too late. You don't want to be the person standing in line because you didn't heed not only my words, our community words. There are many preppers online that have been talking about this. You don't want to be that person standing in line hoping to get a can of whatever because you didn't have anything. You've only got 3 to 4 days worth of food in your house because you routinely shop every couple of days at the grocery store so you can get the freshest vegetables, so you don't keep nothing in the refrigerator or cupboards. And it's not going to be there. And that will happen. That has happened. That's happened with every hurricane that we've seen down here in Florida. When I lived in North Carolina, every time we were having a snowstorm come in, shelves looked the same way. No bread, no milk, no eggs, no cheese. Gone. Any type of chili, soup, stuff like that, gone. Propane, gone. Stacks of wood, gone for your fireplaces. We've seen these. We know it happens. It's not panic buy. It's because these people have not done any preps, and they're like, oh crap, it's real, I gotta go do this. It's not a panic buy, it's because they haven't done it. I've seen people sit there and threaten preppers. Well, we'll take your stuff. You took more of your share. What country you live in? If you have the dollar bills or the bank account to purchase something, you have the right to purchase as much as you want, up until they put the limit on stuff. Then it's technically more than your share. If there's a sign at a store that says 1 per customer and you're grabbing 12, then yes, that's more of your share because they decided to portion it. But when markets are, everything's okay, you can go to the store and buy 100 cases of whatever. As long as you got the money, you can do whatever you want to. You're right, all right? It's commerce. It's just people that fail to plan. There's no saying failure to plan on your end does not create an emergency on mine. It doesn't. All right, guys, get to prepping, and we'll speak to y'all later.